Hey guys, if you are here looking for pain relief from plantar fasciitis, I have got the solution for you. So we are going to work on your ankles, your knees, your calves, your feet in this quick 10-minute video. It's a combination of stretching and strengthening to help with immediate pain relief for plantar fasciitis or plantar heel pain. So just do your best, follow along, no equipment required. We're going to start off with a high lunge position with your right leg forward and your left leg back. And I want you to shift that weight into the front of your feet. So instead of pressing down through your heel, there's probably some discomfort there, you're going to shift that weight to the front of your foot. So you're really putting the weight into your toes, the ball mound of your foot, and then maybe slowly releasing as much as you can, the heel down, but really keeping that weight centered or toward the front of your foot. And then I want you to squeeze your right thigh. So we're building up strength through the muscles around your knee, working on squeezing your right glute. And then with your left leg, you're going to press your heel toward the ground, keeping your toes and the ball mound of that foot active. And if you want to bring your arms up, you can, but that's not really much of a factor here. And we just want to work on strengthening your toes, strengthening your ankles, strengthening the ball mound of your foot, and also on stretching through the calf and your back leg. And we're going to start shifting the pressure away from your heels and into the toes and the ball mounds of the feet instead. We're also going to be working on stretching your calves throughout this workout, also stretching and working your anterior tibialis, as well as the soleus muscle. So getting all of those important muscles in your lower body. All right, let's go ahead and step up. We're going to switch sides. So step your right leg back, keep that left leg forward. Again, we're going to start by putting that weight into the toes and the ball mound of the foot. So if you even want to lift that left heel off the ground, so you know that you're doing this properly. Again, getting that weight to where it should be and not just dumping all that weight in the heel because, again, probably discomfort there. With your back leg, make sure that your toes, ball mound of the foot is strong, and then you're going to push that right heel toward the ground so we feel stretching through the calf. So we want to keep the hips strong. You're squeezing your glutes. We're going to feel opening through your right hip flexors. Just make sure you have good technique, core, hips engaged. If you want to bring your arms up, that's fine, but it's not super important here. And we're doing a couple more breaths here. So you should feel your thighs working as you do this. You should really feel your feet working. You might feel your calves being a little more active than they're used to. 2 more breaths. All right. And then go ahead and stand back up. From here, we're going to take it down to the ground. And this is quite possibly the most, what I found to be the most effective for stretching this. So you're going to start with your knees down and your toes tucked. So I'm going to turn so you can kind of see what I'm doing with my toes here. But my toes are tucked, and I'm basically trying to stretch the fascia from my toes, the very top of my toes, the back of my toes, all the way up through the heel. So I'm just going to play around with this stretch here. I'm going to let my shin come further forward. I'm going to curl up my toes more or extend my toes more. And I'm just working on stretching this whole part of the bottoms of my toes and the ball mounds of my feet. So you can play around with this. You can move further back. Depending on how your knees feel here, you might have difficulty with this. So you're just going to do your best. If you can do it with both feet at once, that's great. If you're having difficulty with that, what you can do is bring one leg forward into a low lunge, and that way not as much pressure on the knees, but it still allows us to get that stretch through the fascia in your feet. So this is what we're going to do for the next few minutes. And I want you to try getting as much extension through your toes as possible. So getting your toes to come toward the top of your foot as much as you can as you're doing this. And this is something that I had some plantar fasciitis about a month ago. I started doing jump rope, and I did too much too soon, and the result was some plantar fasciitis, or plantar heel pain, as it's now called. And so I did this stretch. I held it for a long time, It's uncomfortable, but it works. I did this stretch. I was actually bathing my son, and I had my toes like this as I was doing it, and it was intense. It took a long time. I spent a few minutes on it, but when I finished, there was no pain. So this is a really important stretch to do. So I'm just going to keep doing this and kind of keep guiding you through it. I'm reassuring you that, hey, it's going to be uncomfortable. It might feel like you're stretching something that you haven't stretched ever or in years, but this is really going to help you. And so I'm going to turn so you can kind of see what I'm doing over here as well. But you can see I'm kind of leaning further forward, getting more of a stretch one way, and then sometimes I'm coming back, getting a different stretch. And you can shift the weight too. So shift your weight more toward your pinky toe, and you'll get a stretch over there. Or you can shift the weight more toward your big toe, and you'll get more of a stretch there. So just play around with this stretch for a while. And again, it is intense, but this is really helpful. All right, just to keep this interesting, from here we're going to go into a down dog. So stretching your calves, really helpful here. So you're going to start in a plank position, shift your butt up and back, and then relax your knees a little bit. So I want you to be able to focus on your calves, not have to worry about any limitations in your hamstring flexibility. And then work on pushing your heels toward the ground, but also on flexing your toes toward your shin. So we want to feel these muscles in the front of your shin. This is your anterior tibialis. We want to feel those muscles working as you're doing this. So again, flexing those muscles, flexing the toes toward the shin, pressing the heels down, squeezing your quadriceps. That's also going to help facilitating that ankle action that we need. And then keeping the breath slow and controlled, in and out of the nose. And you can also play around here. I wouldn't do it constantly back and forth. You know, in a lot of yoga classes, you're told to pedal your feet out, which is fine. But I would keep it, and if you're going to put one leg down, hold it for, a breath or two, 10 to 20 seconds. And then you can switch to the other side. But don't just mindlessly press back and forth, back and forth. Your body needs time to open up, to stretch. And then let's go back to both legs pressing down. So heels pressing down, flexing the toes toward the shin, feeling those muscles in the fronts of your shin. That's your anterior tibialis. Feeling those muscles working, squeezing your thighs to help. We'll do 2 more breaths here. All right, and go ahead and release. From here, we're going to go up into a deep squat, but we're going to keep the heels off the ground and focus on the ankles. So I want you to face your toes slightly out. Heels come off the ground as you bring your butt toward the ground. And I want you to work on, keep the heels off the ground, but press them toward the ground. And you're going to feel some stretching through your ankles as you do that. You might not have this level of mobility, and that's fine. So you're just going to do the best you can here. If that means that you're up a little bit higher and your heels are pressing toward the ground, that's fine. You might want to hold on to something if you notice that your thighs are giving out. So heels are off the ground, working on pushing your butt toward the ground, and then really pushing the heels toward the ground. We want to feel that anterior tibialis, again, those muscles in the fronts of your shins. They're going to be working here as well. So just so you can see, different angle here. Again, my heels are off the ground. I'm working on getting my shins closer to my toes so that I can feel those muscles in the fronts of the shin working, and pressing my heels down without actually touching them to the ground. So just working on that ankle mobility, working on that dorsiflexion. And the whole point of pretty much this entire workout, we're shifting the pressure away from the heel and strengthening the toes, strengthening the feet, and also working on the strength and mobility of the surrounding area. So we're working on the ankles, working on the calves, working on all of that. And this is a good quick fix, but if you really want to address this problem systematically, I've got a lot of workouts for your ankles, for ankle strength, mobility, and balance in the Manful Yoga Workout Library. So be sure to check those out. and I'll list them here in the description. So lots of muscle burning in the shins as we do this. That's fine. That's a good thing. And hopefully this is helping to strengthen the arches of your feet too, strengthening the intrinsics of your feet. All right. And then we'll go ahead and come up and just give that a test. Hopefully you're feeling a little bit better. Probably going to feel sore in some areas, but that should relieve some strain from the heels. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that workout. If you haven't already, subscribe. Don't miss out on future videos. We've got new workouts every Tuesday. Leave a comment if you have some feedback. And if you're looking for more workouts, I mentioned them in this video, but I also do have a free 7-day challenge. One of those workouts is focused on balance and a lot of ankle focus on there as well. Sign up for free. Link in the description below.